Hey, welcome back to the Ping Pong Flick Show. My name is Chris Wong. First of all, I'd like to say, may you rest in peace, Stan Lee. That's right, Stan Lee, age of 95, passed away this morning. Quite shocking, although we kind of, because he's older and he was ill, you kind of know that it's going to happen, but it's unexpected. I mean, I called my friend up this morning. I was driving. I know I was driving, but the Twitter came up, the Twitter feed, and had some, alerts that said Stanley passed away. And I called him up and said, "Is this for real? What's going on here?" But yeah, it's for real, and it's very sad. But I'm glad and happy that he has ever existed, because without him, we wouldn't have things like the comic books we have now, the movies we have now. Like it or not, he actually inspired quite a bit of pop culture, and he will be sorely, sorely missed. Kind of sad that he didn't at least live long enough to see Avengers 4, where the Avengers return, or even see all the different Marvel characters in the same universe. That would have been pretty cool for him, I think. But yeah, so may you rest in peace, Stan Lee. Thank you for everything, for comic book fandom in general. All right, guys. Well, a couple new updates now for DCEU. It's actually been pretty quiet as of late, as we ramp up towards Aquaman. But there are some kind of cool little nuggets that I want to talk about. And then, like, two trailers that dropped today. One was a teaser, Toy Story 4. Do we really need it? Well, my kids and I will probably go watch it. Toy Story 3 had a really heartwarming. It had some dark things into it towards the end. I really dug that. Teared up and many times in that. And so Toy Story 4, do we really need it? But it's interesting. I wonder where they're gonna take it from there. Will this be the end of Toy Story, or is this like a new trilogy, 4, 5, 6? I don't know. But I am looking forward to the actual trailer. The teaser didn't give us much, except for some weird looking craft spoon thing. I'm guessing artistic toys versus regular toys. I don't know. We'll see how that turns out. The other trailer that I looked for, a movie that I didn't know I was looking forward to, was Detective Pikachu, because man, it looked good. That looked good. I mean, it kind of starts off almost Blade Runner-ish. It's like a new, interesting world. I almost thought it was like a video game at first, like a PS4 game. I'm like, oh, what is this? And then you actually see Pikachu and everything. And, it's so weird to see that in live action. You'd be thinking this is a commercial for a Pokemon game, but no, it's for real. It's an actual movie coming out. Ryan Reynolds is the voice of Pikachu, at least this Detective Pikachu, and that is quite something. And I like it how that kid can understand him, but nobody else can. So he has to go. He says Pika Pika. My kids dug it. I dug it. I'm ready to watch it. It's gonna be like Who Framed Roger Rabbit, but for this generation, maybe. Hopefully, it's got that kind of mystery going on with it, and it certainly does seem so, with that detective thing going on. So yeah, count me in. I'm looking forward to that one. Detective Pikachu. That's coming out 2019, I believe, right? So that's kind of really cool. One other movie, well, actually, it's a TV series. I just want to highlight this. Will Rollins, our own fellow Snyder Cut enthusiast, part of the fandom, Will Rollins, is gonna be in a TV series. Yeah, coming out on Amazon Prime. It's called Silent Eye. It's apparently it's a science fiction anthology type series, much like, I'm guessing, Black Mirror. So he's gonna be in episode 2, I believe, and his name is gonna be Dan. So if you have Amazon Prime, check that out. Silent Eye. I will definitely check it out. I'll let you know how it is. There's a trailer, I think, on YouTube. But anyway, Silent Eye, check it out. Our very own Will Rollins is gonna be in as Dan in episode 2. All right, guys. Now on to the bigger story. and that is Godzilla versus Kong. I know I haven't talked about Godzilla in forever, but there's not much new. And yes, I live on the island that they're filming the movie on, and no, I didn't have a chance to stand in line. That the day I was leaving for Oklahoma training was the day that they were gonna cast some extras, and I missed that chance. What a bummer! But you go around town and you can see them filming different parts of town. You see these black Humvees with the Monarch sign on them, so you know this is the area. They're filming a bunch of stuff at Coolo Ranch. Hopefully this time they actually leave some of the set pieces there. That way when we go there after seeing the movie, we can actually experience some of that, just like how they did with Jurassic World now. And they left the gyrosphere there, or parts of it anyway, and van and things like that. Things like that. That would be kind of really sweet for the kids and myself to check out afterwards. So hopefully they do that that kind of thing. But Godzilla versus Kong, I am ready. I am so into Godzilla. I'm a huge fan of Godzilla. My kids are huge fans of Godzilla. My fault. And King of the Monsters it can't come here soon enough. But we're already talking about Godzilla versus Kong, and that begins production today. The Adam Wingard's movie is shooting in Hawaii, and I guess it will also move to Australia at a later date. The official synopsis has dropped today. Here is what it says. In a time when monsters walk the earth, humanity's fight for its future sets Godzilla and Kong on a collision course. They'll see the two most powerful forces of nature on the planet collide in a spectacular battle for the ages as Monarch embarks on a perilous mission into uncharted terrain and unearths clues to the Titans' origins. A human conspiracy threatens to wipe the creatures, both good and bad, from the face of the earth forever. So that is pretty awesome. Wow. Okay, so it's very interesting how that's the synopsis. To me, when I'm reading that, I could only think about Batman v Superman, because it's almost the same. Two heroes collide as something, conspiracy in the background, Lex Luthor trying to take out metahumans. It's very similar to that, so I'm ready to see this epic thing. And I'm wondering, when they say it's both good and bad, is it gonna be that way? Will there actually be a designation for Godzilla and Kong? One of them is good, one of them is bad. Or perhaps any of the other monsters that survived from King of the Monsters will be in this one. The bad ones, maybe Ghidorah or somebody that makes it through this. So I'm really interested in how that will work out. And the human conspiracy that threatens to wipe out the creatures, I thought about this, and if you've seen my earlier videos, I've wanted this. I believe that the third enemy of this, and I'm thinking it was gonna be like this. How it's like Batman v Superman, where it's like Batman versus Superman, but they have to team up together to fight Lex Luthor or Doomsday and stuff like that. I'm thinking along the same lines, like Godzilla and Kong. They're gonna have to come back together and fight this human, a threat, which is humanity itself is the threat. Doesn't look like Monarch is going to be it, but humanity in some other sense. We know that there was in King of the Monsters, well, maybe you don't know that, so I don't want to spoil it, but in King of the Monsters, they have that element of the humans not being very virtuous, or they are thinking they're virtuous in their own right. Well, I'll let that slide, but I'm thinking that is a perfect, I don't know if it's going to conclusion to this Godzilla universe. They didn't say this is the finale or part of the trilogy. I really hope this series goes on. I hope it goes on to other territories like Mecha Godzilla, Jaguar, you know, Gigan, and I don't know, just keep going on and on until, you know, until it doesn't make any money more anymore. But I really hope it keeps going on, and I'm very excited for this film. I'm very excited to see how, in what way, is it another monster? Or maybe the humans create Mecha Godzilla to defeat these two. Who knows? I don't know. But I'm very intrigued, interested. And I know there would have to be like at least one definitive win, and I'm putting my chips on Godzilla. That's all. I'm putting all my chips in Godzilla. I hope he wins. He better win. Kong got his chance. It's time for Godzilla to reap the reward. But also, what's interesting is in here, and may not be interesting for a lot of people, but the further credits include all these other people who are part of making the film, and one of them is interesting: VFX supervisor John DJ DeHardin, who worked on Batman v Superman, Dawn of Justice, and Watchmen, two of Zack Snyder's greatest films. Of the VFX supervisor for that, and that's awesome because those got some great effects, great visual effects, and I can't wait to see this movie. Also, this past weekend at Celeb Fan Fest, Ray Fisher and Ben Affleck has shown up and got to take pictures with many of the fans, did some autographs. You know, Ray Fisher even said "I love ZS" on one of them. Ben Affleck getting a lot of thanks and love for his interpretation of Batman. That's so awesome to see these two going out there, meeting the fans and being loved by fans. Sure hope that gives them a little bit more morale, and hopefully maybe even, like, you know, we've always heard that Ben Affleck doesn't want to be Batman anymore. At least he's, which is weird because he seems to be celebrating the fact that he was Batman and taking it all in, so he must really love it. And Ray Fisher, hopefully he gets a Cyborg movie off the ground. That is all cool and awesome. And speaking of Zack Snyder, about Zack Snyder a little bit, he hasn't been posting a lot of anything really. He posts here and there, but nothing really anything to do with the Snyder Cut or Justice League. He has been liking, though. He's been liking a lot of things. He liked Ramesh's little clip of showing that Flash going slow motion and hitting the 6 because it's like 6 days until, you know, Justice League's theatrical release a year ago. We're almost there, and it's on the 17th. So and also, you know, he posted this today on Vero of what appears to be his office, and it says almost. So I don't know what's up with that. I mean, that's about it. But wait a minute. 6 days, November 17, almost what? Almost